Sarge, the UMP-45 and UMP-9 square off in the next episode of Battlefield 4 Weapons Showdown. The UMP-45 and UMP-9 are weapons under the Engineer belt in Battlefield 4, being that you have to use the Engineer class to play and use these weapons. Now, to unlock them, you have to use the weapons that are already unlocked in advance, and by killing people and using or performing certain assignments, you'll unlock the later ones. So the UMP-45 is the third unlock, and UMP-9 is unlocked by completing the Engineer Expert assignment. And these are great submachine guns because they're designed around specific close quarter medium range combat, and what shines with these weapons compared to the assault rifles or the LMGs is that you can maintain your accuracy while you're moving, making for aggressive gameplay the more favorable tactic to use while on the battlefield. And so because the submachine guns in Battlefield 4 are designed around this playstyle, there's going to be a lot of similarities when it comes to the amount of bullet spread while moving, hip firing, crouching, and so forth. And so you'll see that the UMP-45 and UMP-9 share these similarities. They also share the same drop-off distance when it comes to damage scaling. There's also the same bullet drop, also tactical reload while there's still bullets in the magazine, and the same empty reload time speed. There's also going to be some similarities when it comes to the recoil from left to right, and also the recoil decrease. And so this is sort of standard between these two weapons specifically. These are also identical. Where we're going to start seeing differences between the UMP-45 and UMP-9 shine when it comes to the max damage and minimum damage, also the drop-off, higher rate of fire, magazine size, and muzzle velocity. And so we'll see that the UMP-45 outshines the UMP-9 when it comes to the maximum and minimum damage at 34 versus the 25 points that the UMP-9 has. So it's a 36% increase over the UMP-9. We also see that the minimum damage is also higher at 15.4 points, whereas the UMP-9 has a 12.1, which is a 27% increase. And so we can see that the UMP-45 is designed more around close quarter in regards to the UMP-9. And even though that they're both weapons that are designed around that play style, the 45 outshines because of the fact that it has a more maximum and minimum damage over the UMP-9. And that's really the only stats that it has higher than the UMP-9. We're going to see a lot of differences when it comes to UMP-9. Looking at the 9, we're going to see that it has a higher damage drop-off and ends a lot farther at 55 meters versus the 40 meters that the 45 has. That's a 38% increase, which is a lot. Almost 50, and so that's half of almost what the 45 can do. And so we have a much higher rate of fire at 700 rounds per minute versus the 600 rounds per minute that the 45 has, meaning you can get a lot more bullets off, fire rounds faster, and that just overall makes the weapon a lot more deadlier than the 45. So we see it also has a bigger magazine size at 31 bullets per magazine versus the 26 that the 45 has. That's a 19% increase. That also sort of supports the fact that it fires a lot faster, so you have a lot more bullets to use, and that just again makes the weapon more deadlier than the 45. We also see that it has a slightly higher maximum distance at 555 meters versus the 480 meters that the 45 has. That's a 16% increase. Has a higher muzzle velocity, meaning that the bullets are going to connect with your targets much faster. As far as a 16% increase, it's a slight upgrade from the 45, but it's still a little more deadlier. It makes this weapon more designed for that medium ranges and being able to pick off a lot more targets at those distances. We also see that it has a significantly less upward recoil at 0.26 versus the 0.4, which is a 35% increase in regards to upwards kick. This makes it more ideal to use the heavy barrel attachment because the heavy barrel already adds a lot more kick. Using this on the UMP-9 will actually make the weapon more manageable than the 45. And the heavy barrel in general is a more deadlier attachment for longer ranges, meaning it makes this weapon a great weapon to go for those increased accuracy shots at longer ranges. Also, we have a bit lower first shot recoil multiplier at 1.5 times versus the 1.8 that the 45 has, which is a 17% increase. Slightly different, but it still makes the weapon more ideal for those accuracy shots. Also, the last but not least, we have a slightly less spread between each shot, making this weapon more manageable while firing or just unloading your clip at your target at those medium ranges. And so for those of you who like to play the game types like Domination, Team Deathmatch, Squad Deathmatch, or even Defuse, would probably like to use the UMP-45 because it shines in the more CQB situations. But for those of you who like to play larger Conquest open maps that Battlefield comes with, the UMP-9 is probably the more best or the better choice of the two. And I would also see or prefer the UMP-9 for a more defensive type of play style. If you're the one who likes to play a more defensive role, the UMP-9 would probably be the best choice for you. Now, if you were to ask my opinion, and this is strictly just my opinion on what weapon I would choose to use for Battlefield 4, when it comes to my playstyle, for those of you who've been around my channel for a long time know that I'm a very aggressive player. I like to play the objective. I like to get in the thick of battle, meaning that the UMP-45 would be my go-to weapon when it comes to that playstyle. And so I prefer the UMP-45 over the 9 because of my playstyle, but I don't limit those weapons to you guys. It's obviously open to whatever style that you like to play. Also, one thing I'd like to mention is the UMP-45 is a more advanced type of weapon. For those of you who can control your recoil, you can still maintain and use this weapon at medium ranges. It's still a wonderful weapon to use, and especially with the attachments that are available that can decrease the recoil, such as the muzzle brake, you'll be able to use this weapon just as well as you would the UMP-9. And so I find the UMP-45 my favorite one out of the two. And so I'm not biased in any way. I don't want you guys to think that because the UMP-45 is a lot of people's favorites in previous titles. I just like the weapon in regards to the playstyle that I bring in Battlefield in general. It is suited that. And so that's my opinion. Obviously, everyone has their own type of play style, and if you guys have used these weapons before, you might prefer the UMP-9 because it fits your play style. So let me know in the comments below what other weapons you'd like to see in the next episode of Battlefield 4 Weapons Showdown. My name is Sgt.Enigma, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care.